when they gave you the trophy, when you looked at it after all these years, it almost seemed like you could see a reflection in it.
I feel like I was glowing. You know, I feel like the reflection of the gold ball had just, just glowing all over my body. It was like I've dreamed about this moment. I was like, oh my God, I don't want to be nowhere else right now. I felt like I was in that arena by myself. You know, at that point when I grabbed the trophy, I felt like everything else around me was just empty. It's a great moment.
So is there anything that you imagined, well, when I win, I'm going to, or it's finally going to, what that you do when you won?
You know, because I grew up loving Michael Jordan. You know, when he finally won that first one against the Lakers, you know, he was emotional. He was very emotional. And I was like, wow, if I ever win a ring and I finally win that first one, that's exactly how I'm going to be. I'm going to be very emotional. Didn't quite turn out that way. I got too excited.
Stop me if you've heard this one before. You give LeBron James $1. He only gives you 3/4 back and change.
I've heard them all.
Not true anymore, right?
Nah, I don't think that's true anymore. Nah, you got to give me all 4 quarters at this point.
Have you become braver, more fearless, any of that?
Yeah, I think so. You know, and I think it just comes from experience. You know, when you fall and you fail so many times, you just say, you kind of just look yourself in the mirror and say, well, what are you going to do about it? You have all these other people around you, and yes, it's a team game, and yes, everything, has to fall in place with the team, but what are you going to do to help things become different? I did that a lot.
When did you start to feel cramps?
Around the second quarter, I felt that it was a possible chance it could happen. In the third quarter, it kind of happened again. I was like, if you could just make it, to the end of the game, and then when you get into the locker room, cramp up, I would be okay with that. And one move in the fourth quarter, and I knew it wasn't good.
I mean, you've played, nearly 1,000 games in the NBA, and nobody could find any other time that you had to be carried off the court. So that's how severe this was.
And I was like, okay, well, let me just take a couple deep breaths. I'm going to walk it off. I'm going to get to the bench. And my legs basically looked up at me and was like, there's no way we're letting you get over there. So, they had to carry me over there. I was like, no, this is not happening right now. Not right now in a game that could turn a series.
When you did come back in, that 3-pointer you took, clock ticking down.
Once he swung the ball to me, I wasn't giving it to anybody. Basically, there was another moment where I said, what are you going to do about it?
You have cramped in the past sometimes with nervousness and emotion coming into play. Do you think nerves and emotion came into play at all in Game 4?
It was a possibility. I don't change my preparation, so it could have been a little bit of excitement, the moment, being in that moment again. It could have been a little bit of everything that led to that. And, one thing I know that I'm glad I got great teammates, because they was able to, win that game with me sitting out.
How has your ability to deal with pressure and nerves changed?
Well, it's not that it's changed so much, it's just that I've grown. Win, lose, or draw, I'm going to be satisfied with that because I'm not going to regret anything that I did out on that basketball court because I know I gave it, 100%.
When we look at the finals last year, you took 11 shots in one game. That's clearly not you. What's the mental block there that wasn't there in this series?
I mean, it can be unexplainable at times. The mind is a powerful thing, and, when you try to do something or try to become someone that you're not, it could change your habits. It can change what you've practiced all over the years. It can change the way you, believe in things and see things. And like I said, last year, I believed so much that I was a villain. I believed so much that I was this, Two-Face or the Penguin or, these guys going after Batman. I believed that, and that wasn't good for my game. I never played that way. I've always played with excitement and joy and love and then fun. That's what made me fall in love with the game.
It seemed after those finals that it was one of the worst things to happen to you, worst experiences of your life. But now that you look back and you see everything that came from it, do you still think it's one of the worst things to happen for you?
Well, it was the worst thing to happen to me at the moment. That's because I wasn't thinking outside the box at that moment. But it was the best thing that ever happened to me, to this point in my career. Because that experience helped guide me throughout this whole year, both on and off the floor.